You've been seeing so many movies, the Hollywood movies having this kind of look. They have the green that is desaturated, and we've been emulating the same style in most of our videos. So guys, I want to show you how you can also get that or maybe achieve it in Premiere Pro. So if you're excited, let's jump right into the video. Alright guys, now we are in Premiere Pro. Let me show you how you can pull off this green to make it look cinematic. This is the shot that we have. I got this shot from a certain site. We're going first of all to do some basic collection right here to the clip because I don't like the highlights. I don't like the highlight and the picture is a little bit desaturated. I want to turn the contrast a little bit up here, maybe around 20, that is okay. And then I'm going to bump a little bit saturation into the picture, but as you can see, the green is reflecting on the colors. I don't want that saturation. I'm going to turn it a little bit down, maybe around there, that is okay. And then we're going to come to the highlights and take the highlights a little bit down, because there was too much sunshine or sunlight in the background here, and we're going to take the shadows a little bit down. And I don't want my subject to be darkened. I want the face to keep on looking better. And then we're going to take the white down. I don't know what you see, what we're doing to the background. Let's see the before and after. Let me show you guys. This is without and this is with. The picture is now looking beautiful already, but the face is a little bit not illuminated, but that is okay. That is okay. So this is our basic collection. Just in case maybe guys you don't know how to do basic collection, I did a video about color correction using this Lumetri color. If you want to learn more, please go and watch that video. It is right here. Go and watch that video. I believe it will help you a lot. Since we are done with our basic collection, now let's jump into what we are here for, turning this green to be cinematic like the green we see in movies. How do you do that, guys? Make sure that you go to the curve section. We're not using RGB curve. We're going to use the hue saturation curves. When it comes to hue saturation curves, we're going to use only these two. We're going to use the hue versus sat and even the hue versus hue. What do we mean by hue and sat? Hue versus sat, it simply means that whatever you're going to do here is going to affect the saturation of a certain color that you're going to choose on this line up here. And then hue versus hue means that whatever you're going to do, that certain point of the color portion that you're going to choose, it is going to either change, its color is going to be changed, but it will not change the saturation, of course, or the contrast, but the color will turn to another color. But for hue versus sat, it means you either increasing the saturation of that color or you're reducing it or you're desaturating it. That is what hue versus sat means. So let's go ahead and mark our portion of green. Wherever you see green, but our green, as you look here, our green has some orange-ish color. Since it is a daylight and the sunlight is a match, the green is affected and it is turning a little bit to orange, but that is not a problem. That is what we're here for, to make it at least look more beautiful. So make sure that you mark wherever you see the green and even the orange, wherever the orange is, where orange is ending, like that. And then we're going to pull this portion down. Why do we pull it down? When you pull it down like this, you're desaturating that color. I don't know whether you can see, the color is already desaturated. Let's see the before. You see the green is better, it is looking saturated there, but when you turn it on, it is desaturated and we want to keep it there. We don't want to be more. When you go down, way down, it will look like there is no green, or maybe it was a shot, I don't know. But you've seen such movies, of course. Even some movies look this way, but this is not the look that we're going for. We want to turn it a little bit down, not too much, maybe around there, and then we're going to make a little bit curvy like that, because I want my green to blend in, each portion to blend in well. And then we're going to come, this is where now the juice is found. We're going to come to hue versus hue and we turn that green to a more greenish, bluish kind of, something of that kind. And we mark even where the orange is ending, like that. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to pull this to the blue section, going to the blue, moving away from the orange. I don't know whether you can see, guys, what has happened already to our green. The green is already looking like army green, looking cinematic like you see in the movies. It is already looking beautiful. If you've seen or maybe watched a movie called Jungle Book, it has this greenish kind of color, and most of the movies that we see in Hollywood, this is the same thing that is always happening there, and this is how they are pulling it off. If it is much, you can simply go ahead and pull these points a little bit up so that you retain maybe the saturation a little bit. And if you want the color to go way beyond like this, maybe if you want to go overboard, but you have to make sure that you're keeping your eye to the skin tone, because you don't want any other color to be affected, since we are pulling down the orange. You see the orange down here, and even the skin contains a portion of orange. Actually, our skin tone is always orange-ish, so we don't need to do that. That is overboard, and the picture is even looking amateurish, because there are some defectors right here in the skin tone that we don't want. So we want just to pull it a tiny bit, maybe around there, and then we can pull our saturation up a little bit, up a little bit, up a little bit, just like that. Maybe that is better. I'm not worried about my skin tone, because as you know, when someone is in green, of course there is that reflection that comes to the skin of light. When the light is shining, of course there are some light rays that will bounce off the ground, or maybe from some plants, and every object that is around that environment will be affected by that color that is dominating. So it is not a big brainer if our subject is looking this way, but I'm pleased of the green, and that is what I was much interested to show you guys today. Hope the video was so helpful. In case you got value out of this video, make sure that you leave a comment down below. More importantly, make sure that you share this video after watching it.